Welcome in. This is Sheevaun Moran, and this is Energy Mastery Podcast. And we host these so that you can have some ideas about how energy works in a very different perspective. I have been doing this work helping people learn how energy works, kind of since I was a child. And people have always questioned me, wanted to know how I see things, how I interpret things, what information I can help them utilize because of what I see with energy. And so with Energy Mastery, we have a school that is a system that gives you the understanding of how energy actually works for yourself, for others, to understand your own sensitivities, to take advantage of the unique perspective you have as a highly sensitive being. People who come into our courses are people who have tried a bunch of other things or who really just want a whole new level, and their soul has an inspiration that Energy Mastery is a great next step. It could be the only next step, but it's up to the soul and up to the person who jumps in. And so today, I invited one of our certified trainers to come in and join me and ask some questions that they get when they're out in the field, when they're on the phone, when they're working with clients, and when they're working with students. And I thought it'd be super helpful for you to get some details about how they're interacting with energy, and also get some questions from them, because the way I think about things after doing this for many years is going to be so different than somebody who is just starting out. And no matter where you're joining us from and what perspective you're joining us from, it's important for you to know all different angles and ways and aspects of how energy affects your life, and how maybe this is a good resource for you, because energy is everything. It's everywhere. It's in everything we do. The more we're in Wi-Fi, the more we're being affected and impacted by energy. And so today we're going to welcome in again Leon Kolaski, and he has some new questions for us here at Energy Mastery. Thanks for being here, Leon.
Thank you, Sheevaun.
So you get some pretty interesting cases that you bring to classes and some of the things that we offer. And I thought it would help our audience, the Energy Mastery audience, to know some of the perspective or things that are going on in the street, because I came into this from the Western medicine model. I came into it having gotten sick, misdiagnosed, nearly dying from blood poisoning. That's usually lethal. I ended up having to take, some pharmaceuticals reluctantly, but I knew that was going to save my life. And I walked out of the hospital and they said, people don't leave. They need to stay for a couple weeks in order to heal. And I said, no, I'm going home to heal myself. And at the time, I really just had no bloody idea what that meant. I just knew that I wasn't going to do what they said. And I knew that my body was an amazing healing machine. That's what I knew in my heart, in my soul, and I decided to live by that. And so what do you experience, and what are some of the things that are coming up?
Yeah, definitely, at least from my perspective, seeing people how they don't understand the difference between the two healing models, right? The traditional sick care model and the other healing modalities that are out there. Mm-hmm. And so how do you help them understand that the way that it works in the previous model, or the model that a lot of people are using, Western medicine, and how this is different, and I guess even just their expectations, the amount of time that's needed in order for somebody to, have that shift, and how much does their mind play into it?
Yeah, those are big questions. That's like 10 in there.
Sorry.
So, most people think, especially who are doing energy work or woo work, I don't think it's woo work at all. For me, since I've been doing it all my life, I didn't think it was woo until I learned it was woo. The thing about Western medicine versus energy healing or energy mastery, I don't think it's an either or. I actually think it should be an and. And what I have seen over the many people that I've trained and worked with is they want to ditch Western medicine. And hey, it nearly killed me a couple times, so I get it. But there is value to it. There's a lot of value to the diagnostics. There's a lot of value to some good aspects of it. It's not meant to be the be-all, do-all, end-all, which is how it has become. And so energy is something that we all have access to. We have access to it in our beings, no matter how not healthy they are. And we always have access to the ability to heal something or turn it around until it's totally too late. And I've only had one of those people over the course of years that I've been working with folks. And so sick care is really the true key phrase, sick care. And so well care is about taking information that you get from the Western model and saying, okay, are there ways that I can integrate? And I don't mean just integrative medicine, because integrative medicine says only vitamins and these other few things, but incorporate energetics into it. That there's a place, and there is a place for it, and it shouldn't be either or, it should be an and. We're whole beings that nature gives us these things that are pharmaceuticals. Agreed or disagree. Some of them are useful, some of them are not, but our over-dependence on them is not useful. So when you see people, right, they have been told, well, take this pill and this will fix things, right? Mm-hmm. And even with an aspirin or something that's going to fix a headache, it's not the aspirin that fixes the headache. It allows some neurological thing to reset in your system. Like the aspirin that's on the market today wouldn't have ever passed today. So the thing that we have to consider is, are we willing to do the work to allow the mind reframe, the energy to shift, and all of the things to work in tandem? So when people are coming into your world, they just want to be out of pain. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of at the end of the rope. Yes?
Yes. Normally the people that come to me and have known me for a short period of time and start sessions right away are people that have, it's all relative to the amount of pain that they're currently in.
Yeah.
They just want relief, from whatever that is. And many times, that's another question I have for you is, what happens when in their mind they've already tried 2, 3, 4, 5 things, and they're still trying other things, but in their mind,
nothing works.
Yeah. How do you deal with that?
Well, I mean, first of all, you have a really, really good model in sick care, in that all of that industry is actually they're actually really good salespeople. Really good salespeople. They can sell you into the problem like nobody's business. And they can sell you into the problem that it's unfixable unless you do what they say. And so you buy that hook, line, sinker, and pull, and by the time they get to an energy mastery practitioner or one of the classes, they're just like, I've tried everything, nothing's really going to work. This is just my last effort, and I just can't. I bet those are the exact words that people say, because I've heard them. And the thing to remember is that with energy, because it is the first thing that everybody gets access to when you're dealing with energy mastery. Cleaned up energy, meaning energy that is filled with the right harmonizing energy, love, purity, all of those beautiful things, light, intention, soul, connection to source, great teachers, etc. It's a really good, clean line. And with that kind of clean line, what can happen for somebody is their energy can get cleaned up. Now, the challenge is to help them, and this is why we teach people at Energy Mastery, help the practitioners learn how to reframe a phrase and speak about energy and speak about the mind and speak about the body and speak about how it has been trained into finding a problem and only focusing on that problem. And it's not like mindset. It's about mind shift, utilizing energy. So here's the cool thing. And I think I wrote something for Energy Mastery the other day, just like says this, is you fix the energy, you solve the energy in somebody's energetic field and a couple of their energy organs, right? People call them chakras, but energy organs. And all of a sudden, their mind is more upbeat and positive, and they can see the potential.
Yeah, and that's kind of my next question is, a lot of times I'll do just a single session with somebody, and then all of a sudden I see them change their decision making.
Yeah.
Right. They do the healthier food. They, buy the supplements that they knew they should have bought. Why is that? What's happening there? That all of a sudden they're making all of these other decisions, which I may or may not have even guided them toward.
Yeah. So you don't know what the garbage can was filled with. You don't know what the entire energetic container was filled with. And so when you're using these protocols and processes and cleaning up those energetics, their garbage can of energy, right? You don't know that you didn't somehow clean up and reconfigure a wiring in there that was misconfigured because of a trauma or an accident or because of somebody in their environment. You don't know that, and you're not in their day in and day out life, and you're only getting a snapshot of what they're telling you. And the energy doesn't. This is why people end up coming to me, is because I can actually tell them when this happened and what year, all these crazy things, and give them a lot of details and say, no, this happened here and these are kind of the things that are going on, so that they can access it. But you're working on the container, and all of a sudden it will just have cleaned something up, and they will have made a radical shift, even if it's just one. But the processes are such that we help you, the teacher, the practitioner, to be more thorough, to be more effective, to know how to help the client have a result that they can't virtually get somewhere else. And so that's part of the equation, is the way that you have been trained and the way that we've helped you model the information and model how to understand energy. Key thing, understand energy. There are lots of modalities out there, and they don't talk about energy. They don't really talk about energy. They talk about like little formulas, and they talk about little codes, and they don't talk about the energy of it.
Mm-hmm. And one of the other things I just had recently was a friend of mine I did a session on probably 5-6 weeks ago, and she had something that she's been dealing with her entire life. And it's interesting because I have not worked on her since, and every time I talk to her, that thing is better and better. She's like, it's 90% gone. And so why is that, happening to her?
Yeah. Well, this doesn't happen for everybody. So that's a disclaimer for all of y'all out there. It can. But it requires many aspects of how this plays out. Is she wanted it gone. She was done with it. She was open and receptive enough to it. She trusted somebody, friends, trust. She, whatever else was going on in her life. It probably all led to the convergence of this one thing, shifting. And so it has allowed her that reconfiguration of her energy, because basically it's a reconfiguration. It's reconfigured the energy, aligned the energy, so that it can do what it's naturally supposed to do. Because there's a code inside of our little cells that says, hey, when this happens, then turn this thing on so that these can fix itself. So there's a little code. We're just like the giant computers walking around that happen to have skin. And so this energy stuff that we're talking about allows us to help that code be what I call elegant code. An elegant code is more simplified and takes away a lot of the chaos and clutter of a person. So I think those are some pretty juicy bits for you all. My name's Sheevaun Moran. This is Energy Mastery, and you can find us at energymastery.com. We hold classes. We actually do little clinics once a month. Every month we hold a full moon meditation, and the reason we hold a full moon meditation is because the full moon definitely brings up our stuff. And the meditation is there to give you a quick access to some good healing energy and get your mind at peace and on track energetically and healing. And I'm here with Leon Kolaski, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, Sheevaun.
Thank you for joining us today on Energy Mastery. For more information and resources, visit us at energymastery.com. Stay tuned for our next episode.